Hello and welcome back to the Whatnauts Pilots Club, a podcast all about the first episodes of television shows and the many reasons why they may or may not be worth a watch. My name is Kyle Springer and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's your week?
Doing pretty good. Are you someone who typically sunburns easily?
Oh, yes. Very fair. I layer on that SPF. I'm good with it.
Yeah. I'm asking because, of course, today on the show we are here to talk about Burn Notice and the pilot episode of that. Melissa, talk to me about Burn Notice. What did you know about this show? Have you seen this before? What made you want to bring it here on the Pilots Club?
I had watched it maybe for the first season or so when it debuted in 2007. I would have been in high school, and I think the only reason why I never watched more is because I was just busy with high school.
Sure.
Only so many hours in a day. I remember really liking this show, and this is the year of the detective, but I thought this was detective enough to qualify, and also we get a sprinkling of spy action in there.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting choice for sure. Because that is something we've asked ourselves a little bit in previous episodes of like, well, can it be a detective show if they're not really a detective? And the answer is kinda. That's fine. Right.
If their primary objective is to solve a mystery,
to investigate,
that's what Michael Weston
something
is here to do. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. This is a show that I myself have not watched, so this was my first time checking it out. My parents, I know, really enjoy this show. I remember them renting all of the DVDs off of Netflix and stuff like that and keeping up with it. But it's not one that I ever checked out. I kind of remember people liking it, but I don't know that beyond that, I don't know anything about it. So it was fun to watch this first episode and see what it was about and reminisce on early 2000s television and how it looked.
Yes, this being from 2007, I wonder if this was one of the last programs to be standard definition. Because I forgot that TV from that era still looked like this.
Or how long, because this show in total ended up running for 7 seasons. So how quickly did they transition over to high def? Because Lost was 2006, the year before, which I think was also in
2004, September 22nd, 2004.
So I kind of remember Lost being in high definition. Like, so I think certain things were, certain things weren't.
Yes.
So where do you expect your show, with the success of shows like Lost and how much that show changed the landscape of what a good television show is, or what prestige television is, and stuff like that, right? Like, where does a show like Burn Notice fit in with that? How long did that go?
It was on the USA Network. It was one of many. USA, where characters were welcome, was home to such shows as Monk, Psych, Burn Notice, White Collar, Royal Pain, the one with Meghan Markle, Suits. And then I think only with Mr. Robot did USA start to become cinematic.
I gotcha. Okay. When I think back to this show, I do think about the era of television that was like Psych, Monk, House, right? Like all of that.
House was on Fox, but
kind of stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, it something about the formula for a crime show or a detective show became really popular here. And it was like, what if crime or detective show, but doctor? What if crime or detective show, but he doesn't like germs? What if crime or detective show, but they know everything about bones? Right? Like that was that was the formula. That was the concept. That's exactly like where I place this show, even though that's not exactly it. Right? Yeah.
Castle.
Like this is one I guess from at least the first episode, it's like, what if crime detective show, but spy? Right?
Right.
That's
but not
That's
really spy.
Yeah, but no longer spy.
I did not realize until I turned this on today that this is just The Prisoner. This is The Prisoner, but if the prisoner didn't know what he did either.
Right, yeah.
And instead of being sent to a weird island, he just goes to Miami and he has to deal with his mom.
And everyone is still just acting weird about him and knows that he's been burned and I'm not supposed to talk with you. Yeah.
It's The Prisoner, but with all of the anonymous background TNA of the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah.
Too Fast, Too Furious, specifically. What if The Prisoner was in Too Fast, Too Furious, but also you didn't have the cars or the big bubble?
Melissa, you know what this is? This is Shelby Woo for adults.
She was also in Florida. Incredible.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't realize we had 2 Floridas already this year.
Similar filming techniques, I feel like, in like how they portray their B-roll and stuff like that.
Yes. This is shot like you want to be Danny Boyle. What year did Slumdog Millionaire come out? This is important. 2008. Well, they were both part of this.
Same. Yeah.
this cultural, you wouldn't download a car 2000s aesthetic.
You know what I heard recently? Apparently the font that they used for that commercial, they stole that font.
Yes. They would download a font.
They didn't pay for the font. Yeah. Good Lord. Anyways, yeah, I had an interesting time with this. I wasn't sure what to expect. And I did not dislike it. I enjoyed what was there. Though this does certainly feel like a pilot episode where maybe they're not quite sure what they want the show to be exactly. Because if they truly want it to be a spy show, right, he's trying to figure out what he did to get burned, to basically get laid off. No one will
excommunicado.
Yeah, exactly.
Disavowed.
And so that is an interesting mystery. And if he is investigating that mystery, I could see like if that was the entirety of the show, that would be kind of neat. I think I'd dig that. But also, I have a hunch that this will be kind of like a mystery of the week or crime of the like every 2 or 3 episode arc or something. Something else, because like in this he's also solving like art fraud, like an insurance scheme here.
Yes,
that I was like, so I realized I was watching it halfway in the scheme, and I was like, now why am I watching it? Well, like, what does this have to do with anything about him being burned? Does he just need money and he's become a private eye? Like, what is that?
I was kind of, yes.
I guess.
So the premise of the show is that Michael Weston is a spy for the CIA. I forgot that this whole series started mid-mission. He has a cold open like a James Bond movie. He's supposed to arrange for a wire transfer of money to some crime boss. He gets on the phone, says, I'd like to arrange a wire transfer. And they're like, I'm sorry, we can no longer speak with you. You've been burned. And nobody will talk to him. Nobody will accept his call. So he's been fired, but he has no idea why. He doesn't know who did it. There's no due process. And everything he has to his name is disappeared or frozen.
Right.
So he has no money. He's dropped off in Miami and told, like, they're going to get you if you try to leave Miami. So we are missing all of the aspects that make a spy a spy. We're missing the glamorous tuxedos, the globe trotting, the fancy cars, the gadgets. All he has is his knowledge.
Yeah.
And he says that's the one thing they can never take away from you. In The Prisoner, we see that if you know something that people don't want you to get out there knowing, they send you to a weird island. Here, they're like, we're just going to stick you back home in your hometown, and you're stuck there. And nobody will talk to you, and you have no money. We froze your accounts.
Yeah.
None of your hard-earned spy money is yours anymore. So that's why he has to take these odd detective-type jobs to get the money, just sort of get himself back up on his feet, so that then he can figure out who did this to me and why.
Yeah. And like that makes complete sense. I don't know if I'm particularly fond of that for some reason. Like I almost like or would have liked them being like, yeah, he is an excommunicated spy, but he's still gonna be a spy and will use his spying skills to be a spy. And it'll still be like, how did he get on the plane? I don't know, but he manipulated his way on there. Right. Or he is like, I am a retired or an excommunicated spy that got the burnout. Now I just work as a private detective, but I use my knowledge of like spy stuff to just be a good detective. And it's like this like mix of both of them.
Yeah. In many other shows, they would go the way that you've just said. What happens here is that this guy thinks he is in a completely different show, and then the rug gets pulled out from under him. And he's like, hold on, who took my rug? Why? Give me my rug back.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. What do you think of Jeffrey Donovan here as Michael Weston? What do you think of his performance?
I did not know him from anything else. I feel like I've only ever seen him in like one or two other movies. I can't speak to his entire screen persona, but I think he is effective in this role. He has to carry a lot. There's a lot of narration and internal monologue that has to come off as sly and slick without being too smarmy. It's a pretty fine line. I think he does it well enough. He does it pretty good, and he's very handsome.
Yeah. He's. I think in this show he does have that like suave, handsome spy look.
It's very angular.
To him. Yeah. Very tight jawline, stuff like that. You mentioned almost a second ago that he almost thinks he's in a different show, and then the rug gets pulled out underneath him. I feel like that is like his style of acting. Is that, again, I have not seen him in much. The only other show that I've seen him in, he's the main character in a show called Shut Eye.
From when?
From 2016. It's a Hulu original.
Okay.
And I happen to really like that show. It's fairly low key. The guy that gets that gets blamed for the art theft, he's also in that show. I don't remember him, but he's also one of my favorite TV actors. Whenever he appears, I'm always like, hey, it's that guy. I like him. But yeah, that is kind of the main other things I've seen him in. And he just has this like stoic face despite being real handsome and real suave, and like smiles a lot. Whereas some people have resting bitch face, right? They have RBS. He has like resting blank face. And I kind of like it.
Yeah, that seems like he looks like what you'd think a spy would look like in his handsomeness, in his severity, but also in his inscrutableness and his unflappableness.
Yeah, or just like, I don't know how to read you. Like, I don't know if you truly are happy or if you're sad or what your emotions are here. Like, you're not scrunching up your face to get angry or, upset. You're just like, I'm upset, just like a real straight normal face. And I'm always just like, I don't know what to do with that.
But that is perfect for this. Some spies drink a cocktail. This man's face is a cocktail, and that it's all of these ingredients working together in harmony,
right?
To give you a great experience.
Yeah. So I like him, but he also he starts to feel more like a caricature of a spy at first, right? In the narration, in the way he's kind of joking around, like, and I'm here to pay you, $50 million to stop bombing oil rigs, and and then I think by the end of it, there is a bit of heart that kind of shines through, that like, oh, maybe this guy is going to change a little bit or soften up in a way that will, I don't know, make him decide to stay retired or something, or who knows what, right? But like the way he helps the small kid, and the way he's like, what does he say? He says something about like the worst feature of something is this, or the worst, and he gets at this idea that like, but I'm a sucker. Like I have a heart for these people, and I just kind of want to take care of them.
Right. He's like Captain America. He just doesn't like bullies.
Yeah. But I like that aspect of him, because that is starting to show some kind of emotion or emotional attachment, even if he's not showing the emotion on his face, right? At his core, at his heart, he has this like, but here's why I'm really doing this. Like, there's some truly bad people out there. And it could be a big spy. It could be an agency. It could be a government. It could also just be this rich asshole that lives down the street here, right? And it could be your neighbor. It could be your boss at a job. And I can help you put them in their place, right?
Yeah. So you call
fun.
him. Yeah, he's a good enough guy. You see that when his mom cries into his shirt, you see him getting a little teary-eyed. He's like, of everything I know how to do, this gets past my defenses. I've never learned how to defend against mom crying.
Yeah.
He goes on the date with his ex-girlfriend, and he admits, I've never gotten closer to anybody than I did with you. I guess it just wasn't enough. He's like, I don't know why we didn't work.
Yeah. And like I want more of those vulnerable moments out of the show. Obviously we only watched that first episode, and there's 7 seasons of this that stuff is out there. So some people who've seen it might be like, he does this one thing.
I know he does. Surely he must. We just haven't watched it yet.
Exactly.
Some shows have extra long pilots. This show has just a slightly longer pilot. This was an hour-long show, meaning you'd have typically a 44-minute episode. This pilot is 66 minutes. Like, not a whole 75. Just 66.
Yeah.
It's longer than an hour, shorter than like a 2-hour special.
Yeah. I mean, with commercials, it was probably an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
So like that's a good movie slot, especially if they think this show will be a hit. Like, hey, let's put this on prime time. It's like prime time movie night. Here's our brand new show happening right now, right? And then
we've seen other ones, like the pilot of Eureka. I think the first pilot we ever watched on the show, there was a 90-minute pilot for a 2-hour TV block.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen 66 minutes to fill a 90-minute block.
Yeah.
Not that it matters anymore. It doesn't matter anymore.
Not
we
really.
don't have blocks.
Korean shows also tend to be this like hour and 10 minutes,
That's true.
right. And it's just like, huh, okay.
Yeah, maybe the show was ahead of its time. This 66 minutes is the current average streaming show length.
Right. He's like, I picked this one up in Korea in my travels as a spy.
How to be for 66 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I remembered most about this show is the yogurt. And he does.
Okay. Does he have a thing for yogurt, or like just this specific bit in the pilot?
No. So you do see it in the pilot where he breaks into somebody's house and he's like, if you need to break his narration to you, the audience, teaching you how to be a good spy.
Right.
He says, if you need to break into somebody's house, just act like a dumbass. They won't be so mad if you're just like, well, I don't know. I got lost and I went to the fridge and I got a snack.
I thought this was my friend's house. I grabbed yogurt. I'm so sorry. Like,
and yogurt is perfect. How angry can you be at a man eating a yogurt?
Do you want the rest of this? Right? Like,
it's such a, and at this time in particular, this was before the rise of Greek yogurt of 20 grams of protein. Yogurt was they're the little Yoplays.
Before the Greek Empire and yogurt.
Before the Greek invasion. It was Yoplait and it was for women. But it wasn't for women quite enough that makes him eating yogurt an obvious, like, you think he's this manly man, but then yogurt? It's not that far.
I feel like early 2000s, around this time, there was a real campaign to get yogurt into more people's diets.
Into children's diets. So yogurt was for women.
Yeah.
It was for kids. There was not yogurt for men yet until the Greeks got here. It was only for Michael Weston. Yogurt is his thing. He eats yogurt all the time. That's his little bit of business. If like Bruce Campbell is talking to him about a case, Michael Weston's just standing there eating a yogurt.
Oh man. It's like, what if crime show? What if detective show, but loves yogurt?
Yeah, House had all of his pills. Psych hit a pineapple in every episode. Michael Weston ate yogurt. Historically, he ate yogurt. It's extremely important.
That's so funny.
There's less Bruce Campbell in this than I remembered.
I mean, it is only the pilot episode.
Yeah, I know there's more to come.
And they certainly have him as like, here's the cast of the first season of Burnout, and he's like right there still. So
yes. A great use of Bruce Campbell. I love that he's just a big ham. He's just plays guy eating sandwich. And he's like a sugar
retired guy in Miami, which is what a lot of my, like, if it's not like hot young people, it's like old retired people.
Yes. And Bruce Campbell, I don't know how old he was when he filmed this, probably in his 50s. He is such a beefcake, but like a really specific, weird kind of beefcake. Maybe it's just the roles he's chosen over his life, where he's never been in the obvious, clear Hollywood hunk role, so you've never learned to think of him that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on the fringes. He's like the lead in a horror movie. He's the snarky guy on the side. He's the guy who won't let Spider-Man in to see Mary Jane's play because he's 2 minutes late. And then Spider-Man can't go to Mary Jane's play. And she's mad at him, and it's all Bruce Campbell's fault.
Or he's making, pizza rolls in a different dimension or something.
Pizza Papa always gets
Pizza
made.
Papa.
But he's so well utilized. He is handsome enough that you buy that these old widows and old divorcees are like, he's my piece of man candy. He is my kept man. But he's also goofy enough that it is a very fun character, that it's like, that's what you do? That's how you live every day? You?
Just drinking mimosas all day, having a Bloody Mary first thing in the morning.
Pouring a little airplane bottle of vodka into a can of tomato juice to make the poor man's Bloody Mary while he eats a sandwich, watching Michael Weston spy on somebody.
Full on enjoying his retirement. He's like, this is the life, man.
He is. Good for him.
Yeah, good stuff. I feel like this is a decent example of kind of one of these formulaic crime or detective shows, which a lot still follow, this formula today of what if crime detective show of the week, but he's the devil, right? Lucifer, that one's out there. They have all sorts of stuff, and I think this is a good mix of the ones that have that episodic something of the week, but then also have like an overarching, like in every episode, he maybe gets one clue or one little step closer to whatever the next mystery is.
We need to do an episode of the Captain's Log where we quiz each other on obscure detective show gimmicks. Okay. Like if I came to you like, here's 3 detective shows. Detective show, but he eats yogurt. Detective show, but he has a pineapple. Detective show, but he's addicted to Vicodin. Like I just have 3 real ones and make one up, and you have to identify the imposter. Real detective show gimmick or bullshit. Let's do a whole round of those.
That'd be fun.
Detective, but he has dog.
Games. I don't know. I feel like it feels very of its time and still fits in today with some of the shows that are out there. So
and it does feel, the structure of it is very familiar. I feel like it is pointing out things that are, even now in 2025, relatively fresh. Like all of his observations, all of his tips and tricks, like when he says, of course, somebody's going to have a bulletproof door. So shoot through the wall. Nobody has a bulletproof wall. And then when that guy's banging on the door, like, hey, get out of here. You don't go through the wall or the front door. You sneak around the back.
Starting in 2008, the bulletproof wall industry took off, and now that's no longer true. I don't know.
No, but it is not exactly the same things you've always heard. You can tell this is written by somebody who watched everything else that came before and is like, okay, this is one nobody's done yet.
Get around that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. I interestingly enough, I had found a similar scenario where some of his advice, the yogurt advice, or like if you get caught breaking into someone's house, just like act like you just like, oh, wrong place. I thought this was my home, boys. I just grabbed a yogurt. Sorry. When I got suspended in high school for graffiti, and when they finally suspended me and was like, we were looking for someone else of a different ethnicity who had, poor grades and stuff. Like, how did you get away with this for so long? I was like, I just walked around like I had something to do or somewhere to go, and no one questioned me. And so I looked like I had a purpose, and you guys were just like, hey, and I was like, hey. And you just didn't say anything. But if I was just just walking along real slow, purposeless, right? They'd be like, what are you doing out of class? Like, you're obviously not doing anything. But it was just like, yeah.
Just and that is like exactly
you had a reason, right?
Right. That was true in my high school, too. We had a rich newspaper and yearbook program. So if you just had a camera, you could go walking through the halls and people thought, all right, you're on newspaper business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is exactly what Michael Weston does. He's like, be a courier. People at couriers and anywhere. Yeah. Just act like you have to give somebody something important.
Good stuff. Any other final thoughts on Burn Notice?
I had a good time with this. It's less gay than you'd think a Miami show would be, but maybe that comes later.
It was still early 2000s. I don't know how
Well,
prevalent.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Maybe in season 7, the floodgates are open.
Yeah.
People are eating Greek yogurt, and now Miami can be as gay as it ever was.
There is the one where the art dealer is hitting on him and is like, hey, I have those nude Greco-Roman stuff in the back if you want to check it out. And he smiles and chuckles but doesn't really say anything.
Right, his eyes look nervous, and I'm like, this is not the first time this has happened to you. You grew up in Miami. You're a very handsome spy.
Or he is bisexual and he's closeted or something,
maybe.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe that's season 7. He kisses Bruce Campbell. We don't know.
My parents know. They've seen the show. So many other people have seen it, but not us. Anyways, let's get on to introducing what we will be talking about for next episode. Melissa, when I think about when I was a young boy, who the detectives were that influenced me, or the ones that I knew of.
It's time.
I immediately went to the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I thought you were going to go for truly baby's first mystery solver.
Blue's Clues.
She will come later. Perhaps we end the year on Blue's Clues.
Right, yeah.
The Hardy Boys. What Hardy Boys are we watching?
So I would like to check out the more recent show that was on Hulu, I believe. Let me pull up. I have the Wikipedia up here. Yeah, it was a show that premiered on Hulu at the end of 2020, on December 4th, 2020, ran for 3 seasons.
Was it called The Hardy Boys?
Correct. The Hardy Boys.
Okay.
And yeah, you can find this on Hulu or Disney Plus. It'll all be available on there. Wikipedia is saying this is mystery, drama, supernatural horror, which is interesting. But these, I remember reading a couple Hardy Boys books. I don't remember exactly what ones they were, but my library had those like blue hardback cover Hardy Boys right next to the shelf of the all yellow. Oh God, what's her name?
Nancy Drew.
Yes, Nancy Drew. Thank you. Which I think they also have a Nancy Drew show fairly recently.
Yes. So first came Riverdale. Riverdale begat the chilling adventures of Sabrina. There's multiple paths. It also begat a Nancy Drew, and Nancy Drew begat the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff here too in the Riverdale era, which I'd love to see a whole map of.
Yeah. So I have not seen this show at all. I have certainly been a vocal fan of Riverdale, despite knowing that show is some hot garbage. I love it. That's my kind of trash. And so I kind of want to check out that. Like, let's check out, like, even though this was not on the CW, I kind of want to check out like a CW-fied detective show.
Right.
Or, you know?
It is in the style of CW, made famous by CW.
Yeah.
I'm seeing here the little Google sidebar about the show. Audience rating summary 4.5.
Yeah, I've actually the few things that I have heard is that it is surprisingly decent. It's not bad. I don't from what it sounds like, it's not necessarily great, but it lasted for 3 seasons. So
heck.
Yeah, good for them. So yeah, I kind of want to check this out. So we will be watching the first episode of The Hardy Boys, which is entitled Welcome to Your Life.
Okay.
And like I said, you guys can find this on Hulu and Disney Plus.
This is the
At
guy
least
from
here in the
Halloween.
United States.
That's the guy from Halloween Ends. One of them is Halloween Ends.
There you go. Yeah.
Are they not twins? Are they different ages?
I don't remember I don't think they were twins. I think one was older and one was younger, if I remember correctly. But I don't know.
I guess I'm thinking of the Venture Brothers. I think they're all twins. Okay. I look forward to learning something about the Hardy Boys.
Frank and Joe Hardy. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I really know nothing about it, so we will dive into that one for this next month. But if you did not know, this is our Patreon first show, meaning that we release episodes of this podcast to our Patreon supporters first and foremost, where they remain exclusive for 2 whole years before we release it on a free feed. So patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us and get access to this show. I've recently done some spring cleaning on our podcast feeds and stuff like that. So for the Pilots Club specifically, if you are a Patreon supporter and you use Spotify to listen to podcasts, you can get access to an exclusive, like an exclusive RSS feed of the Pilots Club here that has all of our episodes up to date with video versions included. It will automatically unlock that stuff for you. So that is only available on Spotify. However, we also have like a regular master feed of all of our Patreon stuff. So you'd get early access to all our other podcasts up there too. There's all sorts of stuff. So if you have not been to our Patreon page in a while and want to explore it and check it out a little bit, there might be some new options for you and how to get these episodes to you. So be on the lookout for all of that. But yeah, if you are a Patreon supporter, thank you so much. We appreciate you. It means a ton.
Thank you.
If you are checking this out on a free feed, we thank you as well. Just know that there are 2 years worth of this show for you to check out. At some point, it's going to be really awkward when we've like ended the Whatnauts and I'm still being like, and there's 2 years worth, and there's not actually. But as far as we know right now, there is 2 years of this show for you to catch up on. So yeah, that is about it. Melissa, where can the people get in contact with you?
You can email me like it's 2007. Email me at yourhostmelissa@gmail.com. What's your favorite detective show snack?
Good detective show snacks. Yeah. Good stuff, indeed. If you guys want to follow me, I am at Kyle Springer. And if you would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at The Whatnauts, we are at thewhatnauts.com on Blue Sky. So please go like, share, and subscribe. You guys know the deal with that. If you're watching this on YouTube, go check out more of our podcasts right over there. That would also help us out a ton. And yeah, this has been number, 40 something. I forget what I said of the Pilots Club. We'll see you all next time. Bye.